because they go in. They have a chart. They go in there every hour to check.
Do you say shart?
Shart or pee or whatever.
They shart and then go clean it up.
They have a
afterwards?
chart that they have for
Oh,
the go in there.
a chart.
Oh, I thought you said
If somebody
shart.
sharts and they take samples and stuff.
There's a chart of the sharts.
Yeah.
Shart chart.
There's a shart chart. Yeah.
Welcome everyone to the third episode of the Casual Comedic Flatulent podcast, Smell That, by the Who Farted Crew. Today we've got Daddy-O talking about space garbage. Steve and Josh are going to talk more holiday stuff, and I'm going to talk about some poop stuff. So stay tuned. Let's kick it off over to Josh. You want to introduce yourself, where we can find you, all that good stuff?
Hello. I am Josh, Lone Wolf Josh TV on everything. You can go to lonewolfjosh.com or whofartedcrew.com to find all my stuff. And I guess I'll throw the question of the day in here.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Since you didn't see that. But does pineapple belong on pizza?
What?
Absolutely. Absolutely
Oh,
it
that's
does.
horrible.
And
Oh, gross.
I'm gonna just real quick. Pineapple, black olives, and ham with a ranch crust.
Well, everyone, this was the last episode of Smell That by the Who Farted Crew.
Give it a try. If you got a Hungry Howie's near you, they have ranch crust. Do it.
God.
Pineapple, ham, black olives. Boom. How about
God.
Daddy-O? Go. Introduce
That's gross.
yourself.
Black olives are gross.
No, they're delicious.
Very little. Very densely populated. Just don't put black olives on. They definitely don't go on a pineapple. And anyways, it's bacon, pineapple, and mushroom, not olives.
You can find
Yeah, they
Daddy-O
belong
at
on there.
Mayan Prophet
Yeah,
on
there you
socials. Or go to
Just
Who
go to
Farted Crew.
hey, everybody just go to whofartedcrew.com.
Yeah,
Everything is on there.
Go ahead,
Everything.
Steve. I'll finish this off.
What's up? I'm nonsense_Steve, aka your boy DJ Chup Chup. Didn't realize that the biggest takeaway from this podcast was going to be that. So it's good to know. Legend grows there. And I'm also slightly offended by this opening topic because this was going to be a segment of mine in the future. I had it on my list. So yes, pineapple absolutely belongs on pizza. Ham and pineapple, that's my go-to. So
I'm
telling you, throw a little black olives on there. You know,
That's a basic Hawaiian.
This is a very rare occasion because Wax, you're going to be the one on the island here who doesn't like pineapple.
so-
that's true. That's true.
When normally it's the other way around.
Appalled, first of all.
Getting ganged up on.
Also, Earwax Candy. You can find
You and
me
most
at
of
both
America, that's okay.
earwaxcandy.com for my socials or whofartedcrew.com. No, absolutely not. Black olives belong on your fingers. They're America's number 2 finger hat.
No.
Bugles are number 1. And pineapple just belongs in a cake upside down. I guess.
okay, yeah, I can
not a
accept
big
that.
pineapple. I like pineapple juice, but I would never mix it. Grilled pineapple.
Grilled pineapple,
Yeah, I just don't
top
think I would
notch.
mix pineapple with pizza.
Season with tahini.
Yeah.
Tahini. That's my new
That's right.
favorite seasoning.
Yeah.
That's what we
Tahini.
I call it Tajin every time we're grilling.
Yeah.
Drives my wife crazy.
Yeah.
So that's why I have to do it.
Cholula too. You
There
put
you
some
go.
Cholula on your pizza.
I would not.
With the pineapple and
I don't like
ham.
Cholula.
Do you know? I even got a history question. I thought about this before, and I said, you know who invented pineapple or Hawaiian pizza, or where it was invented?
That's
Canada.
the second reason I don't like it.
Sam.
How did
Canada.
You know who invented it?
Because
And I'm waiting.
1954.
Canadian bacon is
Right
just
on some
ham,
sort of
so
like
that makes
Rodney
sense.
Pineapple Danger Man or something. And instead we end up with Canada.
It was Leroy Dole back in
The Greek
1964.
immigrant. Yeah, why would he go to most everything
Canada.
was invented in Canada. Like basketball and football and
Hockey.
Invented in
maybe?
Canada,
Soccer?
perfected in America, like everything else.
No? Okay.
Not sure where hockey was invented. You'd think it'd be Canada.
Anyways, all right, Daddy, you want to start us off tonight with some space garbage stuff?
It's
Okay.
not garbage. You ever do a job somewhere and forget a screwdriver laying around or anything?
Yeah. Every once in a while, I go to like lose a tool.
Okay, yeah.
You ever have $100,000 toolkit laying around and just it's gone?
I don't think I own 100.
Every other week.
November 1st. It was funny because November 1st, I seen this. And I said, "Wait, $100,000 tool bag," and it didn't say nothing about anything else. So then I looked there and it says "Lost in Space." They went out for a routine check or maintenance walk on the International Space Station, and apparently the tool bag is $100,000, and it got away from them, is what the article said. Oh no! Wait, it didn't say it got away from. It said
away from them.
It eluded them. So I don't know what the difference is, but that's $100,000. That's we paid for that. And they said the way it
eluded them. What are they doing?
They were doing routine
dodging it in space.
Yeah.
Like what are the?
That's the way it says.
The bag had great moves. You would expect that
Yeah,
for
I think I'm
$100,000.
rizzed by a toolbox.
Yeah.
The bag eluded astronauts Jasmine Magabelli. I'm sure that's not the way you say it. And Laurel O'Hara.
Oh, you nailed it.
During a maintenance spacewalk. And it said, let's see what else. There was something else here. Oh, it's orbiting the space. You can see it with a telescope or really
Wait,
good
you can see the toolbox?
The bag? Wait,
That's what
how did
it
it elude
says.
them if you can see it still?
It's highly visible. The limit of visibility, unaided eye, or it could be seen with
So
minimal
you're
help.
saying it's very large then? I would think. Like,
It's very difficult to miss.
It can be bigger than
that doesn't
them.
make any sense.
It doesn't say how big it was, but it said you could see it. It's floating 200 meters in front of the space station and getting farther. And they said not to worry about it falling on your head because it'll disintegrate the atmosphere. But they like everything, they have
it's
to.
small enough, right? It would just
They have to
burn out.
tag everything.
So
that's
here's
in
the way
space.
I'm picturing it: is they have it out there in space, doing a spacewalk, and they're just taking tools out of the bag, and then it slowly starts to drift away, and they don't realize it, and then they reach for a tool, and then it's just gone, and it's too far away for them to reach, and they can see it going, but it's like I can't swim after it out there, then I'll be lost too. That's the way I'm picturing
you're
this.
tethered to the space station, and it's just like it's like slow motion, but like
just out of
IRL
reach.
slow motion, where it's just like just float. Yeah, it's just floating right out of reach.
I still,
What's that
I'm
movie,
still hung
Mission
up on the
Mars?
thing where you can see it. Like, have you ever? I've looked up and seen the space station before. Like, they have a thing where you can track it. You can get online and see like.
Well, it said you needed a telescope.
You telescope, or
Yeah,
a
but
really
like
good
when you look at the
paramedic.
space station, it's just a floating dot. Like it's, you know what I mean? And obviously, it's a huge piece of station in the sky, right? So, how the hell could you see a toolbox floating in front of it, even with a telescope? Like, whatever.
Tool
Like,
bag.
let's say it's a backpack-sized tool bag, right? I can't see a backpack down the street, but you're telling me I can look up and see one 1,000 miles, however far the space station is.
I wish they would have showed a picture of
A
it.
picture
but
of it,
I
yeah, that'd be
imagine
nice.
it'd be like almost like a briefcase.
Oh, it's probably
Right.
because all that stuff has to be set in the.
They should have used the briefcases they use when they carry the big money around. You know what I'm talking about, in the banks, and it's got like the handcuff on the wrist. Then you don't have to worry about losing your tools.
Yeah.
You would think it would be tethered, but I guess it isn't. So, here's what I'm thinking: they might have put the tool in there, and then they're like, "Oh, I gotta get. Oh, wait, man, let me get this tool," and they flung their hand toward it, and it went spinning off in space. Whap! Oh crap! But let's just see, and it says everything in space that they find, the space junk has to have an ID tag, so they
So
have
that
an
if
ID
ever
tag on
shows
that
up
thing.
somewhere,
And it says
like,
it was seen Sunday. So I said it was November 1st, so they didn't say. Let's see. This was posted on the 12th. 12th? No, the 13th. It was seen Sunday over Mount Fuji. So, it's burning up there. So, whatever. So I'm thinking, what was one thing that you've done at a job that, I mean, was like a big flub up like that? And mine was, I worked at Toys R Us warehouse, and I was the shipping manager. And they had these great big plexiglass signs with appliques on them, like Texas Instrument, because they had all the computers that were just coming out, like the TI-99 and the Commodore computer. So they each had a 4-foot by 8-foot sign that was all plexiglass and the applique on them. They wanted us to ship them out to the stores immediately. And I told them, why don't you put 2 pieces of plywood, put it in between there, and tie them together so they don't. They said no, just they'll be fine. They got paper on them. You could just slide them in between the pallets. I said, you do that, they're gonna get broken. And guess what happened? They got broken.
Nice.
So and then the great thing about it was I told my my boss was the warehouse manager. I said those are going to get broken, and I told you that you need to wrap them in 4x8 sheets of plywood so they don't break. So one got broken in the store. It was the office manager he said just go ahead and do it, and then he turned around and tried to blame me for it, but my boss actually stood up for me for a change. And they said, no, it wasn't his fault. You're not going to blame him. So then after that, guess what they did? They tied 4x8 plywood around them. So, but that was like the biggest thing that I mean, there was nothing else that I've ever done that was like lose $100,000 worth of tools. So who's next? Who wants to go?
I got one.
Okay.
I used to, right out of college, I used to work in a warehouse. And they were doing. I had to get forklift certified in the warehouse
Nice.
to move pallets and stuff. I was rarely on the forklifts, but you had to get trained on every one of them because there's the sit down one, there's the stand up one, and then there's the one where it's like basically just a pallet jack that you ride around like a scooter.
Yeah, I've done all those.
But I was doing the training on the stand up one, and they said, "All right, now you want to just go forward." And I didn't realize, because they didn't say anything, that the controls, the wheel is inverted.
Yeah.
So I tried to turn left, and I turned right and went right into metal rack.
Oh my God.
First week.
That's awesome. Yeah,
but I was still training, so they just let it go. I didn't damage anything too badly, and it was in an open space anyway. Where they have people trained because there's nothing valuable there for you to break. So, but yeah, that would be mine.
Yeah, I almost destroyed one because they had those.
Josh, how about you?
I'm trying to think of something. I don't know. Like, I don't think of there's anything like that. There was one thing when I was a firefighter but it wasn't that serious. Like, I just got slapped upside the head for it. Like, it was just firing up the pump on the fire truck, and you have to there's a series of things that you have to do in order to be able to fire up the pump. And I think I hit the wrong button, and it was like grinding, and my lieutenant was yelling at me for that. But other than that, I can't really think of any really bad things. I mean, I almost ruined $500,000 $750,000 engine, but
right.
But that's pretty much it. I don't
have
know.
a whole
Earwax,
lot of stuff nothing like that would cost money, but I do have. So I worked for a company that did insurance, and I was in charge of building the application to accept credit card payments, or not credit card, but like banking banking payments, right? So like savings and your checking account. And so the idea was to take that file and then you submit it to the Federal Reserve through the bank. And so during testing, I did it so many times that the FBI actually reached out to the bank and was wanting to figure out, like, why are you sending all these transfers and stuff? And so they get a hold of me like, hey, we need you to stop because the FBI's here. And they're asking all these questions. And I'm like, yeah, I can stop. That's cool. So, like, I mean, that's really, I don't know. That's the one thing that kind of stands out of like, oops, sorry about that. the FBI
the
FBI is getting involved. So like, I'm like, yeah, I should probably quit that. So yeah, that's
a bit of a serious situation when you get the FBI involved.
Anyways,
oh my, yeah. I had like my high-low training, the one you set down. Apparently, my training was they had sand trucks that come to the warehouse, and it was just on a flatbed semi. So the guy who was training me took off the back ones because they could be a little tricky. But he said, just go up on there, take them off, and then just stack them over here. So I'm saying, okay, don't worry about it. Only one guy drove the thing off the side. So I'm like unloading a whole sand truck with that in the back of my mind. And I was like, and then after I unloaded that, they're supposed to have like, certification, right? Well, they just took his certification like they did everybody else and then whited out his name on the copy and put my name on it. So, anywho.
Man, you never got as many chicks
Yeah.
as you did
Hey,
whenever you
that's
drive a forklift. I'm telling you, like.
Oh, man, I'm telling you.
That's just like a license.
Telling you.
Hey, baby, you want to
That's
see
just
my
like a
forklift
license for
certification?
twins. You can't.
I printed it out from MS Paint.
I'll tell you what. When a long time ago, one of my first jobs was Art Van Furniture in the warehouse. Some of those guys are nuts with those things. Like they'd be like dropping stuff off at shipping, but they got so good at this damn thing that they would just be like, it'd be like Tokyo Drift. They'd be sliding in with the forklifts and shit. I'm like, God damn, like, how do you do that, man?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the guy that trained me, those, the pallet movers, but they're like a forklift too. So they go up and pack on those tiers. And I watch him load stuff, take him off the truck, and you just see him going full speed and then turn around and lift that thing like straight up in the air and it just drop off and then come back to like it was nothing. It's like, holy shit.
Well, like, we were in Chicago, so we would load and unload trucks on the dock, but in the winter, those wooden the pallets and the inside of the semis, they would freeze over. So you're just driving on ice. You're trying to stop and you can't. So it was always a unique skill to be able to actually load and unload the trailers without, causing any damage.
Yeah. A lot of moisture in those trucks.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a gift to drive those things, man. Speaking of gifts, what do you got for us, Steve?
All right. Speaking of gifts, holiday season still upon us here. Do any of you guys have a favorite Christmas experience or gift that stands out to you, either from childhood, adulthood, both? For me personally, I'll kick us off. So as a kid, I can remember growing up in Chicago, huge Michael Jordan fan. So Space Jam was awesome. So when the Space Jam came out that year for that Christmas, I ended up getting like a Bugs Bunny and a Michael Jordan Space Jam jersey. That was the coolest thing in the world to me. And I got the like breakaway rim basketball hoop. So I thought that was the coolest. And then from adulthood, my best memory is, doing the classic putting together toys like you're an elf, essentially, while your kids are sleeping. So my son was obsessed with his like play food, and he still likes to learn how to cook now. But when he was a toddler, we got him a full, like, one of those IKEA play kitchens. and it was just in the box. So he goes to bed at 9 o'clock, and I have to sit there until 2:30 in the morning, assembling all the tiny parts so it's ready to go when he wakes up for Christmas morning. So, nice. Josh, what about you?
I think this is a very unique opportunity because you can get perspective from me and from Daddy on the childhood thing. So I'm going to start. I'm going to start with the adulthood real quick, and because adulthood, it's not like I have anything that stands out in particular, but like the big thing that Marianne and I do, we got these. I don't want to speak too loud because the kid's right above me, but. We got these like sacks that have like their names on them, like these giant like Santa North Pole sacks that we put all the presents in, and the kids get a kick out of it because it's got the whole like design for like, hey, it's Santa Claus. This is from Santa. This is from the North Pole, so that when they wake up in the morning, they open the big sack, they start pulling out all the gifts and stuff, and the other thing is. Marianne is a rock star because she always has this stuff done like 2 months in advance.
Yeah.
Like right now, she's got all the gifts already like done. Like we just need to wrap them and that's it. Like we already have everything so once we do that, we put them in those sacks, we put them by the tree, and then when the kids wake up, they open the sack and they find all their presents. It's awesome. But from childhood, I think the most memorable thing from childhood was my N64. Well, our N64. It was the family N64 because we got the N64, woke up on Christmas morning and opened the box, and there's nothing in the box. And I can't remember so this is where Daddy-O could probably elaborate on it. But all I remember is there was nothing in the box, and then he told us to go look in the entertainment center, and it was already set up on the TV.
Because he'd been playing all night.
Playing. So is that maybe?
Yep. I had the volume turned way down low.
Why is Super Mario World half beaten already?
Yeah, I can't remember what do we have? Is it Sky Fox?
Star Fox.
Star Fox?
Star Fox. Yeah. Did we get that
Star
with
Fox
the game?
64.
I can't remember. I think that's what I was playing. I remember playing that a lot. But it was from their grandma.
So Daddy-O, tell us what Christmas is like during the Charles Dickens era that you grew up in.
I got these blades that you strap onto your shoes and you go slide on the ice with them. It was awesome.
Hoop and stick.
The greatest thing ever. Yeah, no, that was
classic hoop and stick.
Hoop and stick. This sounds like something you get when you cough or something. Me, anyways. When I was a younger fella, my dad used to work for a company that General Electric owned, so they had their like discount store with all the appliances and stuff. And for some reason, I wanted a tape recorder so bad because my buddies had one. It's like you just sit there and talk into it. It's me. So I got that Christmas morning. I go in there, open it up, and my mom said, "Hit play on there," and it was, "Hey, Merry Christmas." But it was my sister in a deep voice. And I was like, I thought it was Santa Claus. Yeah, I was like 8 or 9. I don't remember.
Nice.
I was thinking, why does Santa sound so weird? He didn't sound like that when I went and
It
sat
sound
on his
like
lap.
somebody sat on his sack.
Nice.
Yeah. But that was like super cool. It freaked me out. And then I figured it out after a couple of years. Anyways, I was like with Steve, because we would wait till the boys go to bed. All that stuff was locked up in the tool room in the basement. I put a lock on the door so they couldn't get in there. And then Christmas night, they go to bed. They couldn't get to sleep, so I had to wait until like midnight to start. I'd go downstairs and I'd have to put things together and all that, all the, like, there was one year I had to put 2 bikes together. the same exact bikes. We all had the matching bikes. I had a big mountain bike. Mom, had the mountain bike, but it was like set up for a woman. And then they had the two, like, it wasn't a 20-inch. It was like 24-inch, the next size up. So putting that together, but it's always putting this stuff together and wrapping it. And in the background, I'd always have, was it A Christmas Story going? Ralphie. It was like, I've seen it like 3 times while I was doing all this stuff. So it was like 6 hours of wrapping and assembling. But it was always, that's like a tradition though. It's like, oh my gosh. And he's like all day long. It's like Christmas Eve. Most of the time I'd be working late. And then I'd have to come home and get dinner going. And then some kids would be too excited to go to bed at normal time. So that was that.
So I remember like getting a talk boy from the Home Alone, Home Alone 2, I think, like a little talk boy.
Oh,
I remember my NES, back in 1985. But some of the things that like stand out to me are like, so my father is a strange man. And so usually like the day before Christmas, like the Christmas Eve or something like that, he would wrap undergarments that he'd purchased for my mother with them on the hanger still, but in the shape of the undergarment. So like you could tell like that's a pair of underwear. And then he would hang them on the tree. So like you could see like there's a pair of underwear hanging on the tree or a bra or whatever, you know what I mean? So, and he wraps other things like that too, like hammers. Like, wonder what this is. Well, it's a hammer. It looks exactly like a hammer, So that's, and to this day he still does that. I think for like my nephew or something recently, like for a birthday party, got a skateboard wrapped exactly the way a skateboard would look like if you just put paper around it. So yeah, there's
nice.
Like it's just the.
That's actually kind of funny.
But then he always says,
box, right?
he'll take it, shake it, and go, "Ooh, new pillowcase." Every time, like it's always a new pillowcase. So yeah, those are the things I remember from Chris.
A bowling ball.
He would like that actually. He was a bowler. Anyways,
that's funny. Did he like that movie?
Maybe. Is that the Christmas Story? Is that? Yeah, I'm sure.
Little Ralphie.
Yeah, he said. Yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah.
Use that as a guideline or something.
Well, Wax mentioned Home Alone, which of course is all about the chaos of traveling at the holidays. Josh, what do you got about traveling at Christmas time?
Okay, so I was thinking, there's holidays going on, Thanksgiving, Christmas, a bunch of stuff going on, New Year's, all that. And I got to thinking like, we went to Vegas earlier this year. We used to go to conventions all the time, and I was thinking like, man, I actually have a whole routine when visiting the airport, and so I'll go through like my routine, and then I'm kind of curious to see what your guys' routine is, because I always have to get to the airport 2 hours early for domestic, 3 hours for international. Always got to be there super early, because I would much rather be sitting at the terminal and relaxing than stressing about trying to get through TSA, trying to get to the terminal and making it last minute. It drives me nuts. It freaks me out. It gives me anxiety. So I always have to be there early. And so I make sure to take my switch. I make sure to once I get through TSA, I gotta get my snacks. So I gotta get my like bugles. Is we mentioned bugles on the show already? Gotta have some bugles. I'll usually get like a Cliff Bar, and then I'll get a giant thing of water, and hopefully I can get an Aquafina.
What's that bag stuff? Almonds, the granola, is it?
Yeah, so there's one. Well, they just recently started bringing it to more stores in the area, but there used to be like these snacks. I can't remember what the brand is.
Marvel snack.
It's something with an S, but they had these like it was like this maple apple like trail mix kind of thing that you could only get at airports. So I would anytime I would go to an airport, I would pick these up in one of the just like the little shops. They were always in airports. Now they're starting to bring them out to stores, but oh man, they're so good. So I make sure I get my snacks, got my Switch, get my earbuds, and then I just well lately it's been get a Xanax for the flight because I get a little freaked out with turbulence. So, get a little prescription of Xanax for the flight, and you're right as rain, for the whole flight. You're real good. So once you get on the plane, it's hopefully smooth sailing when you get into the Switch and your snacks and just kicking back and relaxing. But Steve, what's your routine for the airport?
So I'd also try to get there about 2 hours early. It feels like our routine is always, we got to get there. It's going to take forever to get through security. And then we're through security in 10 minutes and say, hey, wow, we got through real fast. I feel like that's kind of the tradition of what we do. Cause we always travel either like on the first or second flight out, or we're the last flight at the end of the day. One or the other. It's never in the middle of the day at peak time. So there's hardly anyone at the airport when we're there. But when I know we're going to the airport and traveling, I will always wear try to wear like sweatpants or something that I don't need to have a belt on. And then my like casual shoes that don't need to tie up, so I can easily slide them off and be ready to just walk right through everything. Just trying to think as minimally as possible going through security, not having anything on me. And then same thing with the kids. Once we get into line with them, making sure there's nothing in their pockets, making sure that they're all ready to go and they've got their shoes off and they're ready to walk through, and filling up the bin. The people that give me the most anxiety at the airport are the people that are like, wait, what am I doing? I have to take my shoes off? My belt? What are you talking about? Like, have you not traveled in the last 20 years? Come on. But yeah, same thing. Just try to get to the terminal as quickly as possible. And then before we go, we'll always scout out on the website, like what restaurants are near our terminal. So we can know like, okay, this is where we could stop and get something to eat while we're sitting there waiting for who knows how long.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, I will say that one thing that I didn't mention is I always avoid coffee before a flight.
Why is that?
Don't get the
Why
coffee.
is that?
You know what's going to happen. We don't need to get into it. We don't need to explain it. They got tiny little bathrooms.
With Wax's segment, I think. I mean,
they got tiny little baby bathrooms in there that you can't fit in, and then it's just like sucking your butt into the toilet, and you can't, like, what's going on here? What's the real deal?
I go to sit down, my knees hit the doors. And my butt doesn't even hit the seat yet, so my knees are jammed up against the door. So I've
never been in an
above
airplane bathroom because I've never left my seat in an airplane.
Really?
What is that like? That experience? Do you?
I try to avoid it at all costs.
Shit in an airplane bathroom. So do you courtesy flush?
Oh.
What happens if you do?
Not unless you
does it
go
like
fly in your butt.
There's no water. It's a waterless tank.
Yeah.
So it just sits there, and then when you press, you have to close the lid, and then you push the button, and it just sucks it all out into the atmosphere. Does the lid have to be closed in order for the button to work? I believe now it does.
Like,
yes.
If you were to sit on it, it'd create some sort of suction with your cheeks. If it would like suck the rest of it out.
No, I think the lid actually has to be closed so that you can't accidentally have it open and
sucked into the toilet
and push the button and suck yourself out.
It doesn't go out of the plane.
Here's one more thing real quick. Always carry loperamide. For those of you that don't know what loperamide is, that is an anti-diarrheal medication. It's just
like Imodium.
that's
it's
the brand
just
name.
it's just the straight up like it's the straight medicine. It's just the one
It's
ingredient.
X-Lax's enemy.
It's
Actually.
that thing is so effective because when I was a paramedic, I would always have that in my bag because you don't want to get into situations
Yeah.
and be in CPR and be like, oh,
Sir, I know you're bleeding right now, but I'm gonna have to get back
What
to
if
you.
you
Two
take
of those
one of
before
those?
a flight.
What if you take one of those and X-Lax at the same time?
Oh,
Have him go to war in your stomach?
Hey.
Like,
For science.
Yeah.
Let's go.
who
do
wins?
you have the weekend off?
do
Try that
and
for us and get
do
back
that and
to it.
go on an airplane. Go on an airplane and do it, and then it's just,
Do that
it's just
and
a
then go into
game.
the airport. You have to get through security. You have to go
Yeah,
through it
no
all.
fly
Oh
list.
God!
Oh no.
Great.
It'd be turtling the whole time. Like,
Wax, what about you? Do you have a airport routine?
So we've only flown once as a family. Usually our trips are all in the car.
Vegas?
Yeah, we went to Vegas
Yeah.
last year for Thanksgiving. We went and got brand new suitcases, packed all of the kids' clothes and the wife's clothes in one big suitcase. Mine went in the medium suitcase. We're going to be there for 5 days, I think it was. We landed, and my suitcase is the only one that was there. And it's been a year, and we still haven't found the other one. So, of course, it's my fault that I'm the only one with clothes. We had to go down to the strip and buy clothes for the kids and her after a day and a half of them wearing the same clothes. So it was hell. Typically, like I said, we'll drive places. We usually do. If we do that, we usually leave at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, so the kids are sleeping. So like when we would leave, when I lived in Florida and we drive back to Illinois, it's like 13 hours. So we would leave at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and then they would be sleeping the whole time. And then we'd get there, and I remember stopping for gas in Southern Illinois, and like, I don't know, it was like 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, whatever, because it was early in the morning. It was still dark, and I was in shorts and a t-shirt, and it was like 27 degrees outside. And I went, oh yeah, I forgot it's winter here. So learned my lesson there real quick. But yeah, like usually, like I said, we, obviously the kids have their own bags, like backpacks that they load up electronics in, the Switch and everything like that. Just, you have to make sure you have all your USB cables and chargers and everything. There's available spots in the car to plug all that crap in. And I don't know, we don't really do a whole lot. Not really like a routine. Just like I said, I think the most routine thing we do is that we always leave super early so the kids sleep the whole way. And then I'm awake the whole time. And then they're like, let's go do stuff during the day. And I'm like, I've had zero sleep. No. So that's that's
I tried to do that once.
our thing.
Driving down to Florida with Daddy-O and
Oh God,
Well,
how long's that drive?
Mommy-O and
Going by
Wyatt
experience,
just
when we
did
drove
not
to
want
Vegas,
to sleep.
you guys, I mean, we left at 6 or like 4, went to Indianapolis, so it's where my aunt lives, and we got them in their pajamas, and we were left there at 9, and they slept like a long time when they got up. So yeah, I thought, hey, that's a great idea. Wyatt's, he'll probably sleep all the way. That was
The crazy thing is Wyatt, anytime we get into the car, he will pass out immediately, like within like 2 minutes of being in the car. But for some reason, for the trip down to Florida, he did not want to go to sleep, or he would go to sleep for like 2 minutes and then wake up and start getting pissy again. So on the way back, I was like, we're staying at a hotel
that
in
was a
like
good move.
Kentucky or something, or Tennessee, wherever it was. And it's just so we could get like just a break and then pick it up, get 8 hours of sleep, pick it up and go. But man, that first trip down was, I mean, it was keeping me awake because he was like screaming the whole time. So I'm like,
it was. You don't want to be awake like that. That's
like, this is completely different because when I was a senior in high school, we drove down to Daytona, and I was like slamming Red Bulls and blasting Chiodos on my radio to stay awake. And that's
Listen,
for anybody that doesn't
wait.
know Chiodos. That's like a screamo band. Like
Those
they are
cheese
like
puffs?
screaming.
Oh, I thought it cheese puffs.
The cheese.
Flaming hot
Cheetos.
Chiodos, yeah.
Cheetos, yes.
Chiodos that go
Mexican
crunch.
Cheetos. Yep.
I like Cheetos too.
So you get older, and instead of like screamo music keeping you awake, it's an actual screaming kid.
And the Wiggles.
Yeah. And what's that? What's that pop that I got too? It had double the caffeine.
Oh God, I don't know.
Sir.
Surge.
Oh, Surge was good, but no, it was cola. I can't remember. the name.
Jolt.
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 That's what it
Jolt
was, yeah.
Cola.
24-ounce Jolt that keep you awake for a couple bits.
You gotta be careful with like the energy drinks when you're on a long drive too, because like
Yeah, the
get,
caffeine, it'll make you have to go to the
crash.
bathroom.
or you pee
have
a
to
lot,
stop.
or you
Yeah.
crash. So my thought when we did this in senior year when we were driving down, I was like, my buddy was like, okay, I could pitch in for gas, or I could get a whole 30-pack of Red Bull. And I was like, that sounds like a great idea. You should do that. So we got that, and he's passing me from the back of the car. He's passing me Red Bulls as we're driving down, and I'm just like, I could beat the crash if I just keep drinking more.
You hit the Red Bull wall.
I do that with alcohol beverages. Like I'm not drunk. I just drink more, and then like it'll not be drunk.
It balances out.
It balances itself out, man. Like, oh my god.
I'm never hungover if I'm never not drunk.
Oh, there you go.
That was a great trip, though. We had like the portable, the smaller portable TV in the back seat of my Cavalier,
Nice.
and that was the back seat was like the napping area, or if you wanted to play Kingdom Hearts, you could play Kingdom Hearts in the back because we took a PS2 and we attached it to that little portable TV. It was funny.
That's an important thing to have. We had that for driving out to Vegas too. I made a little cabinet out of veneer wood that you buy at Home Depot. Made a cabinet with doors to hold there was the videos on the bottom, and then the TV was a TV VCR, so I had it in there, and I put a little strap so it wouldn't come flying out. Like Josh and his brother would be watching. That helped a lot too. We didn't.
Daddy, did you tell us your airport?
It's
strategy?
basically the same as yours. You get there 2 hours. Like when we went to Vegas for the parade, we got there 2 hours early, and then there's nobody there 2 hours early to go through. And I think it was one of the earlier flights too. Didn't we get there at like 6 a.m? 6 or
No,
7,
actually, I don't think like the flights were. It was like
I mean, it was an early
10 o'clock
flight,
flights
though.
or something. It
Yeah,
was like,
but I mean, it wasn't.
so
in
we
the
got there a
middle of the day.
little bit early, but like it wasn't.
But that's the way
some
to do it.
what the like Boston flight.
Oh,
The last Boston flight we had, I think we got there to go to Boston. It was like 4 or 5 in the morning. It was like
yeah. But
butt
we were 2
cracking
hours
down.
early then too. I mean, well, no, we weren't because we had that TSA pass or whatever that Andrew had. We just walked.
I will say, okay, here's the thing. With me, I am always like safe. Get there as early
yeah.
as you can so that you can sit there. My brother will wait until the last possible goddamn second and stress everybody out.
Yeah.
It drives me, like I say, it gives me anxiety. I can't stand that. Like I have to be there and sitting there so that I know I'm ready to go.
Yeah, and he lets his gas tank get low too, and that's another story.
Oh,
But anyways, yeah. So you get there 2 hours early because there's always we have like 2 terminals now. They built a brand new one. The older one is not. It's just kind of your basic terminal, and there's not a whole lot of stuff going on like a McDonald's or like just a little airport store. But the newer one has like restaurants galore and snack things, and so
Yeah.
it's not that big a deal getting there that early, and you wait around for about an hour and you go get stuff. That's fine. You go make sure you got 2 waters. I got 2 big waters I put in my backpack. I mean, the big smart waters, the tall ones, and then gum. And
Oh yeah, gum.
Gum,
You
yeah,
gotta have
that's a good one.
Yeah. For the ears popping.
The ears. Yep.
And I don't need no Xanax because I love it I love the plane flight. It's flying, and then you come into Vegas. There's always turbulence when they go to land in Vegas, and
Yeah, over the mountains. You can start coming in over the mountains.
But it's basically the same. You just get there early and just fiddly fart around into the the waiting area there until your flight's ready. It's not that big a deal. But yeah, I can't. I don't like
typically
being late
anytime Daddy-O travels is usually with me now. I feel like the Boston, PAX East, and that Las Vegas and stuff. So
I love Boston because you get in there and it's like every time we've gone to Boston, we go in there. I got a tradition that you have to stop and get a Starbucks coffee before you leave the airport. So I always go in there and get a coffee on the way out. I know, but at the airport, but while you're in Boston, it's like every 2 blocks there's a Dunkin', because that's where it was born, I guess. But
I love traveling. That's why I put that in there, because I love traveling.
My 2 favorite cities to visit.
Honestly, I think DTW was just rated like one of the top airports in the country.
Where?
Our airport, Detroit Metro.
Really?
Yeah. I think that was just recently. So
Logan. Oh yeah, and then the Vegas airport was renamed because I guess the last guy that they named it after was all sorts of bad.
Yeah,
racist and everything else.
Yeah.
So they renamed it. Was it Riley? Something.
It was I can't remember.
Can't remember what it was.
Anyway, you get to pooping on airplanes. You got to take the loperamide and stuff. But when you get to the amusement parks and say like Disney, they got some sort of absurd pooping thing in the lot. What is it, Earwax?
Have I got the newest Disney trend for you guys? So, according to some Reddit posts,
wait. This is the crazy news story of the day.
This is the crazy. Okay,
there you go.
Okay, so this comes from Yahoo Entertainment, yahoo.com.
Is that still a thing?
I just wanted to make sure people knew it was the whole thing. That's why I said it. Not sponsored by yahoo.com. However, so there's
AOL.
There is a news article here that talks about this the new Disney's absurd new trend of defecating in ride lines. So, according to some guests, multiple times over the last month online, people have been witnessing disturbing things happening in the ride lines. Someone has said, quote, "I am in queue for Rise of the Resistance at Disney World. Someone let their kid take a dump on the floor and then they just walked out and left it. WTF?"
Nice.
Someone else says, "For the skeptics, this actually happened. Fun fact, this was one of 3 shit-related incidents at Rise today. Less fun fact, I was here for all 3 of them." One user had responded. There is somebody else has been quoted as saying that they worked for Animal Kingdom in Walt Disney World, and a guest had shared that Disney cast members have dubbed a section of Flight of Passage's ride line the poop hall due to the number of people who someone is going to have to gone to the bathroom there. Somehow it's gone to the bathroom. Bodily fluids no longer bother me after working at Disney, the guest wrote on Reddit. Let's just say that the attraction I work at has what the cast ended up dubbing the poop hall because of the number of times guests have gone in there and pooped. We even put a camera up and it didn't stop it. Good Lord, the poop hallway, quotes another person. From a former flight CM, this absolutely gives me war flashbacks. Anyway, my question for you guys is, have you ever had to go so bad that you went somewhere that was unconventional?
Real quick, I might not have been paying attention. Did they say where the poop hall is?
I assume it's outside of. I mean, I didn't give it's not on the map. I mean, I don't think.
I feel like they should
ride would be a good place for it.
They should have definitely referenced that in the article so that I can avoid that area.
It sounds like it's the line for Flight of Passage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the Avatar one?
I thought, well, it's Animal Kingdom, I thought. So I don't.
Oh yeah, I think that is because the Pandora stuff is there.
It is. It's Avatar's Flight of Passage. Yes. Oh, that gives the new meaning to the Navi River journey. Anyways, so
No, I
Like
don't,
I
I don't
said,
have to go there. So
my
Nice.
question for you guys is: have you ever had to go somewhere in a hurry and it was not a bathroom, something a little more unconventional?
Oh dear God.
Oh.
Oh dear God. Wait.
I don't have anywhere like unconventional. I mean, being a medic, you're always like on guard of like finding
Right.
somewhere to poop. You know, there was one point where I was telling one of my partners we should make an app for like the toilets, like in the area that are, rate the toilets in the area because
That's a thing now too.
yeah, they stole my goddamn
Yeah.
idea. Anyway. I don't know if there was any like crazy spot that I pooped, but I will say going back to like the low pyramid stuff, how I learned that was I was talking about doing CPR. I was doing CPR at the time that I had to go, and I didn't have low pyramid, so I'm doing CPR. And as we're pulling up to the hospital, I'm like, I gotta go so bad. I gotta go. So we wheel the person in, and then immediately it wasn't my patient, so I was assisting on that call on that one, and my partner was the lead on it. So I was doing compressions, and as soon as we hit the recess room, we kind of tossed him in, and I was like, "See you later. I gotta shit."
Nice.
Just took off to the bathroom. I was like, "I did my job. Now I gotta go poop." And I'm sorry. You handle the report with the nurses. I'm out of here. So after that, that's where I learned about low pyramid.
That'll be our next sponsor. I have a feeling.
That'd be such a great sponsor. Wow.
This episode brought to you by Imodium AD, all day relief.
We get the the store brand. It's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, it's just the single ingredient. So all you need to get is the ingredient low pyramid. That's
It's
it.
made
and
by
that's
Equate. Is it Equate?
I mean, we won't turn down Imodium.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody.
yeah. But yeah,
It's so effective too. So
for
anytime
everything.
Anytime I like airplanes, whenever I was working or something, had to have that in the bag because you get that tummy rumbling. You pop one of those and you're
I got a
right as
question
rain. You're good.
about that. You went in there. Did you have any preemptive farts?
Like no.
You know how you have to go
No.
so bad.
You
It's
just
like
do-
you just
There was a lot of sweat. I will say that there was sweat.
Not now,
everywhere.
please.
And more excessively because I'm doing CPR and then I'm also sweating because I have to go. I have to
the
go.
patient look up at you. Hey, you eat a lot of meat lately?
Nice.
Were you doing the stay alive, stay alive? No, that's how that works.
I am trying. I'm doing anything I can to take my mind off of my butt. Like I'm just like please.
That reminds me really quick. Has everybody seen that John Travolta commercial, the holiday commercial?
Did he shit his pants or something?
No, he's dressed like Santa Claus, but it's in the theme of Saturday Night Live. So he's walking around. There's a lot of the characters in the movie. He's like flashing a card or whatever, and then he's
Saturday Night
dancing.
Fever, you mean?
Yeah, I always
Yeah.
think that. I don't know why.
How about a poop story? You got to.
So
Me,
I
got
have one about my. Go ahead. No,
I didn't have one yet, but no.
No, go ahead.
I'm
you
trying
don't have
to
a poop
think. I
story?
had it, and
You
I'm
trying to
trying
make
to
a poop
think.
story right now? Please don't make a poop story right
Oh
now.
no!
Well,
There he goes. He just left, everybody.
I don't want to be part of your poop story.
Hey, wait! I'll leave the microphone on.
Well, the only thing I have similar to
Weird
that, so
place.
we took the kids to Disney when I want to say they were, what would that be, 5? Oldest was 5. I forget how old the little one was, but he was still in diapers at the time. but we were in line for the Seven Dwarves minecart like roller coaster ride, and the 5-year-old says I have to go to the bathroom. So me and him left the line to go to the bathroom, and my wife and our youngest stopped in line and were just letting people pass them because they were waiting for us to get back so we wouldn't lose them. So when we got back from the bathroom, somebody from Disney had pulled them out of the line because my wife told them why they were just stopped there waiting, and they just moved us to the front of the line and let us go in front of everybody after we got back.
That's a good move there.
Well, that's magical.
There you go. So that's the moral of the story. Don't shit in line. Just do your business where you need to, and then get back to line, and everything will work out.
Well, it sounds like you could just fake that whole thing then. Like, the lines were long, just
that's what I was thinking.
Well, I mean, we were gone for
Especially
like 10 minutes, so she was just standing there doing nothing for a while.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that way you don't have to pay the extra $100 a person for the line skip or
the
whatever.
fast pass.
Yeah, the fast pass to skip it. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, look at me! I'm a second-class citizen here. I didn't pay extra to stand in line or to move ahead of line. That's ridiculous.
Gives a whole new meaning that fast pass.
I guess the only time I've really had to go really bad was when we go down and visit my grandma in Kentucky. We go fishing. You go out in the cornfield and just let it rip. And I asked my dad goes, hey, just go out in the cornfield. All right, what do I wipe with? There's corn cobs. I'm not doing that. So we had a roll.
Oh my god!
We had a roll of paper towels in the car. So I'm taking this. So we go out there, and I'm just thinking now. Just imagine that farmer coming along, pulling the corn stalks up.
Why is that one patch of corn growing way
Yeah,
taller than all the rest?
The one area by the creek is like an extra 10 inches higher than the rest. Why is that? So that's the only one I know.
Wait. Going back to the corn on the cob thing, would you how would you do that? Would you floss it in the cheeks? Like, would you up and down?
I guess you just drag it up or drag it down.
You peel the husk and you use the husk.
Yeah, no, there would be
the
corn.
husk. Okay, that makes way more sense than I was like.
No,
I was like,
cob,
are
man.
people
What are you talking
taking
about?
the whole
Don't
cob
use
and
the cob.
shoving it?
That's what he told me to do. Because it's cobs that don't, there'll be cobs on the stalks that the birds eat all the corn off of. So he said, just go and take a corn cob and just run it down there and clean it off, So I don't know. And then there was they made a big bunch of money selling souvenirs down south with the corn cob joke going. So they'd have.
I'd say get us off this topic, Wax, but it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. So I have a story, but it actually is my brother. So we were doing the moonlight bowling thing on I think it's a Saturday night. So this is when you go in at 9 or 10 o'clock after the leagues are over, and they cut the lights down and it's the black light and all that stuff.
Cosmic.
Right? Yeah, cosmic bowling, moonlight, whatever
thing.
they call it. So glow bowling. So the bathrooms at this bowling alley are not up to code even.
I don't think any bathrooms at any bowling alley.
It's a bowling alley. It's a bowling alley bathroom, right?
Right.
So when you go in there, there's 2 urinals in a stall. The stall has no door. Okay, the door's been ripped off, right? So he has to go. And I was with my wife and him and his girlfriend, and I mean this is shortly after we'd been married 10, 12 years ago, and kind of a first impression thing almost with my brother, right? To my wife, because I don't think they'd ever really met before. So he goes in the bathroom and he goes into the stall and realizes there's no door. So then he decides that he will just go and hang his ass out of the side of his driver's side door in the parking lot. And he does it in the parking lot. Now, he then takes a hooded sweatshirt that he had in the back of his car to use to wipe, and then leaves that on the ground there on top of it. And then moves his car 3 spots down so nobody knows it was him. And I'm like, dude, you were in public hanging out of the car. People are going to know, hey, that guy's over there taking a shit. And then I'm like, so then I go, when you were in the stall, you didn't want to go there. And he's like, no, there's no door. I said, was there toilet paper in there? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, why didn't you take that with you outside? Instead, you used a sweatshirt.
Why
So,
did he just go in his stall instead of letting 600
Right.
people watch him go?
I'm like, there's more people out. There's cameras outside. Like, you're on camera doing this,
Yeah.
but you didn't want to be seen from the stall door that was open.
Yeah,
So-
possibly by one person going in there
By,
washing their
yeah,
hands.
possibly one guy that walks in there to use the urinal, and damn well they're gonna be like, "Ooh, I'm not going anywhere near that door because there's I can see feet."
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Exactly.
yeah, I guess the moral of the story there is just maybe take your time to scope the area out and see if they've got toilet paper before you decide to poop in a parking lot. So
You said that about the bathrooms and both.
I think if we've learned anything from these last two segments, it's that you never poop on pavement. Just don't. If you're gonna go somewhere,
There you
just not on pavement.
Yeah, go in the cornfield.
that's not a bad one.
I think that's just good life advice
Yeah.
from the Who Farted group. You're welcome.
Use a bathroom. Go to a McDonald's or something.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Use a stall.
I don't
I
know.
knew
I've
this
seen
guy-
some McDonald's bathrooms. I might want to just take my chances with the pavement.
I knew this guy that would only go to Walgreens bathrooms
Oh,
because they were the cleanest.
that is true.
Specifically,
I have been in one of
Walgreens.
those.
Specifically, Walgreens or CVS were like the cleanest
Yeah.
bathrooms.
Sorry, I've got to poop at Walgreens. I've got a sponsorship deal.
Yeah.
Like he was staying over at a buddy's house. He's like, I'm not gonna go at his house. I'm going to Walgreens. He left the house and went down to Walgreens because he was like, that guy's bathroom is grosser than Walgreens. I'm just like, oh god damn, how bad. It's like,
Yeah, they'd be in there
that's-
every hour.
That's real bad.
I used to have a Walgreens across the street from my route, and I told them if I have to go to the bathroom, that's one of my bathroom stops. So if you're coming out looking for me, go over there if you see a truck. Because they go in there, they have a chart. They go in there every hour to check
Do you say shart?
chart or pee or whatever.
They shart and then go clean it
They
up.
have a
afterwards?
chart that they have. For
Oh,
they
a
go in
chart.
there every hour.
Oh, I thought you said
If somebody
shart.
sharts and they take samples and stuff.
There's a chart of the sharts.
Yeah.
chart.
There's a
Shart
chart.
chart.
Yeah.
Is that, you throw that on your check sale chart?
Denise sharted at 3:17 p.m.
BM or PM?
Both.
3:17 PM BM.
Oh wow.
There's a poop out in public, okay? But, come on. Especially at Disney, the magical, happy place, the magical,
Well.
and you're over there in Pandora and in the Avatar world, and you're just shitting
In
the
a hallway. In a random hallway.
Just
If there's any amusement
Kinda
park you want
animal.
to poop at, it would be Disney now for me because I love Universal. They treat you so much better there.
Well, maybe we need to go find Diagon Alley and start taking.
I took a Diagon Alley shit.
Start dropping the big Harry Potter over there.
Hey, you got a witch's
The
kettle
mean
around
streets of Diagon Alley.
here? You got a potion.
do you feel like they would have safeguards in there though? Because would you immediately when you start pulling down your pants to take a shit, it's just like a beast that jumps up and just bites your ass.
Right? Something.
Where at Disney?
You talking about
The Harry Potter and stuff.
Oh,
Potter thing?
yeah.
Like it's just a magical defense. It's like poop defense.
Yeah.
like a three-headed dog or something?
Yeah. Just bites your sack and then
And I'm like, wait till you see my Slytherin.
Oh. Oh man, come on.
poop defense. Bites your sack and then that's it.
Universal
Whoa,
Studios
did you
spends
see that?
$1.2 billion on poop defense system.
Sounds like Disney needs to do that.
It costs more than a missile.
Universal's
defense
getting
system.
out ahead of it. They see what's happening
No,
at Disney. They're like, no, not here now.
Disney's like, it wouldn't be canon if we did that.
Yep.
So.
Not canon.
They're saying everything's not canon, but yet they're bringing everything back. So it's like one thing at a time. Just say it's all
Pooping in
canon.
hallways. Yeah.
Bringing it back, baby.
That's
We're
canon.
bringing back
Bring it
pooping
back
in
in hallways.
hallways.
Speaking of canon,
All right. Do
And
we
then
wanna-
make sure you use the corn on the cob as your toilet paper.
What the hell is
Yeah.
that? That was the weirdest part of that story.
no, it wouldn't be like that. 'cause the grains
Yeah,
are gone.
that's
It's
exactly.
just it just
No, it's just a machine
They're like
gun
little
of just
vacuum
corn.
packs that you pull.
Yeah,
And then put it back on the stalk. So the guy comes, what the hell kind of corn is that?
Oh God! It's like,
And it'd be great if you had corn the night before.
Oh,
Just repack them cobs, baby.
he's like, I shucked these
Circle
last
of
night.
life.
How come there's corn on there again?
I shucked these last night. Somebody
Started on a cob, finished on a
Do
cob.
we want to do final thoughts now? I feel like
I think we've had too many
So-
final thoughts.
those magic elf
do you want to
cobblers.
start
Cobblers,
us off,
huh?
Steve?
I mean, my final thought was already don't poop on pavement. I think that's just that's my biggest takeaway from this is take some Imodium or generic Imodium, whatever, and don't poop on pavement. Josh,
Loperamide, okay? You got to
Yeah.
get yourself some loperamide. I don't
Equate
know why I'm saying
loperamide.
it like that, but listen, you'll thank me, all right? I want to see it in the comments. You'd be like, that guy, Josh, on Smell That, this podcast I've been listening to, he said loperamide. I'll tell you what, it's got my butt
yeah, tell
right.
the loperamide people.
It's got my butt right.
Oh,
Right. Okay, listen. Prevention, take 1, okay? But if you're in it, take 2. Okay? That's my final thoughts. 2, if you're in it, if you're suffering right now, take 2. Prevention, take 1. Cuz you go on a plane or you go into like an arena for a sports event somewhere where you don't want to be shitting in a public toilet with a whole bunch of people around you or sharing the same toilet, a small, tiny toilet. Loperamide. Daddy-o, final thoughts. Go.
Imodium. It isn't just for air flights anymore. Oh. No, 2 hours before, take your loperamide. Could be Imodium would be great. If anybody's out there looking to sponsor somebody. Imodium, water. Go poop in a cornfield instead of Disney World, and keep track of your shit. Don't
What
leave
if
your
it's a
tools laying
cornfield
out
at
everywhere.
Disney World? Then is
That's
that
fine.
acceptable? Okay.
As long as it's a real cornfield and not just one of those plastic ones that they set up in a ride or something. Well, that'd be fine too because it's Disney World and
Okay.
Make sure you use that corn on the cob video like
which direction would you? It'd probably be better if you went from the back to the front, right?
You know what? I don't want to get into that. I think
like
we've
bottom
already.
up.
I guess that'll be for
probably
next
bottom
week.
up, right?
I think
Bottom
we've
up.
already got enough of this. I think we're good.
We'll save that
I don't think you would listen. You wouldn't want to go down because that would get like
Think we're
gooch
good
your
here.
Oh,
back of the sack.
We'll save
what?
that.
Well, as long as you shave there, it don't matter.
We'll save best practices for wiping your ass for the next episode. Anyways, so my thought on this episode is, oh shit. My thought, yeah, probably just that. Oh shit.
Yep.
Yeah, that
This
is
is a very shitty episode.
This episode
crap.
stinks. So, but no, yeah. So hold it. If you can't hold it more. Hold it until you have to hold it. So, anyways, that is all we've got for episode 3 of Smell That. Remember to join the conversation in the comments section of the platform, if the platform allows it. Head over to our social shoulders. Jesus Christ, man, I can't read
Social
this
shoulders.
stuff, Josh. This is awful. This is awful. It's like, head on shoulders. These don't.
You're still
see.
thinking about the corn cob.
Anyway, the corn cobs. Okay. Check us out at whofartedcrew.com.
There you go.
Tag us with your thoughts on all of our socials. Find it all there.
Yep.
Until next time, keep ripping them and don't tell anyone it was you. Peace out.
Yeah, peace.
Peace.
Loperamide.
Peas. Corn
Peace.
cobs.
Peace.
Corn cobs. Corn
L for
cobs.
L for loperamide.
Corn cobs. Corn cobs.